Is done better than good enough? We've heard it said that done is better than perfect. Waiting for perfection, which doesn't exist, will only keep you stuck. Getting it done is way better than being perfect. But is done also better than good enough? I'm Carrie V, your biggest fan, and I want to dive into this. And I would love your feedback on the subject. I would love your messages on how you feel about this. I recently read a book where there was that statement in there: done is better than good enough. That as long as it's good enough, it is better to put it out there and be done than to keep working on it and making it better before you put it out there. And it really got me thinking, because I've heard that it's better to be done than to wait for it to be perfect, which is never going to be happen. But when is it good enough to put it out there and be done? Whether it is a video that you want to do, a book that you're writing, a piece of artwork, maybe it's a business presentation. When is it good enough to be done? I would love your thoughts on this. For me, I could get stuck into all of the tiny details, trying to get everything completely perfect so that when I release something, a book, a podcast, a video, being up on stage with a presentation, if I can make it as perfect as possible, maybe the feedback won't be so brutal. Maybe everyone will love me. That's never going to happen. There is always going to be someone who puts a critical spin on thing, or who doesn't like my books, who says that it could have been longer, it could have been shorter, it could have had more detail, it could have had less detail, it could have had more stories, it could have had less stories. There's always going to be that kind of feedback. So, where is the line between, okay, I'm not waiting for perfection, but I want it to be excellent or good enough? Where is that line? Where do we decide that something is good enough and it is done, and that done becomes better because it's done, because we did it, because we put something out there? Personally, I agree. I absolutely agree. We wait so long before we step out and do the thing that we know we want to do, because we're waiting for it to be better. We're waiting for it to be shinier. We're waiting for it to be more molded. The thing is, my book, I could always take the Radical Empowerment Method and do the Radical Empowerment Method version 2. I could always change it later, but it's out there. The same with my gratitude journal, the same with the book I'm working on now, the same with presentations that I give. I will always walk off the stage and say, that could have been better. And then I'll work on it and mold it. And the next time it will be better. That comes from practicing your craft and doing your thing, no matter what it is. It can be investing, it can be spreadsheets, it can be the presentation that you gave at work, it can be leading a Sunday school group, or getting up in front of a church and speaking, or in front of the school board. It can be anything. The whole point of that sentence in the book that I read, and that whole chapter actually, was get out there and do the thing. People who wait to be perfect never do anything, because perfection doesn't exist. But good enough to let it go does exist. And when you publish the book, or you publish the blog post, or you push play, or you push submit on the podcast, or the post, or the go live, or you hand in that spreadsheet that you've been working so hard on, sure, maybe your boss is going to give it back and say, can we tweak this, and this? Absolutely, we can. But the point is, you got it done. Finish things. It doesn't matter if they're not the shiniest that they could be. What matters is that you strove to do your best, and your best will always be good enough. Your best will always be good enough. I strive for excellence. And if I have done my best, if I am giving my best, if I am showing up and giving all I can, yes, that is good enough. Don't listen to the people who tell you you have to be better, or you have to be shinier, you have to be further along, you have to have more to offer before you offer anything. It isn't true. It isn't true. Someone who is starving will be happy with a piece of an apple rather than waiting for you to have an entire apple to give them. What you are called to do in this world, people are waiting for. They are starving for it because you are the person that's to bring it to them. And if you're waiting until you can offer a 20-course meal when you've got one pot to give them right now, they're missing out, and so are you. Your best is always good enough. Yes, I would love your thoughts on this because a lot of people I've talked to totally disagree with that whole philosophy. And it's okay. It is okay to disagree. My point and my viewpoint is that you are good enough when you are offering your best, and you don't have to wait until it's better. Offer your best today. If your best is better tomorrow, offer it again. We're waiting for you. We are waiting for you to take the stage of your life and write the story and show up and share your story. I love you. I am your biggest fan, and I will talk to you very soon.